Hi, I'm Sue from Garden Moxie. Welcome to my garden. Well, the garden season is pretty much coming to a close here in southern Michigan. I thought it would be a great time to take you on a tour of the autumn garden. I wanted to talk about some things that worked, some things that didn't work, some things that have never worked, and just kind of take you through what it really looks like right here. I'm not going to prepare anything for this presentation. There's going to be some things that look pretty good and some things that look pretty not so good, but that's the whole fun of being able to tour friends' gardens. So I hope you'll enjoy this. One of the things that I added in my garden a few years back were the arbors, and I'd say that I'm really glad that I did, because they add a nice vertical element to the garden. And even though this honeysuckle will die back in the wintertime, it still keeps enough of its green here to give you just this sense of enclosure and to kind of add another focal point in the garden. So definitely my arbors are one of my favorite things. Now, one of the things that is real in all gardens is as things start to grow bigger and mature, a lot of times you get less sunlight. And so this area here, you can see I've dug up most of the plant material that's in here and moved it to different places in the garden that get more sun. My garden, for the most part, is part shade. There's very few spots in the garden, maybe one in the front, that gets what would be considered full sun to part sun. And so there were plants here. At one time, this garden did have a lot of sunlight, but as that changes, you just need to kind of adapt and change your planting around. So this area here will be planted fresh in the season in the spring, and I'm looking forward to it. Another reality in the garden is the fact that whether we like it or not, some things die. And this season, I was really bummed out. You can still see the root system here. I need to still dig out the stump of this tree, but this tree died back this season. It was really just a scrap chokeberry tree that had been here since the house was built, but I kind of trimmed it up and it looked pretty cool. I used to hang some stars on this tree, which was one of my favorite things in the garden. But I need to adapt now. So the tree had to be removed this season. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do here. I've got a lilac, which actually will be happy now that there's a lot more sun here. This was an inappropriately placed tree at the time. I thought it would get more sun than it actually does. But, you know, you just need to kind of adapt. And so that's what the garden is always in a constant state of change. One of the things that's a little bit more of a challenge in a suburban garden is to create a sense of privacy. You know, because the fact is that we live right next to our neighbors, and how do you create a private garden? So we do have a fence on one edge of the garden, and the other parts of the garden have evergreen hedging. The main border in the back is made up of 4 rectangular beds that are each surrounded in boxwood. The center bed is circular in shape. It's got a fountain in the center of it. It's just a recirculating fountain, recirculates the water. Well, thanks for joining me on my tour of the autumn garden. We'll see you in the next video.